Hey guys, it's K Bizzle here, and I just got back from an early screening of Doctor Strange, and I'm here to do a little review about it. So, let me first say that growing up, I was into comics, but I never, Doctor Strange was one of those kind of outlier characters that I was aware existed. I was aware that he was in the MCU, but I didn't really read any of his comics unless it was part of like a bigger crossover thing of that nature. So, I went into this, kind of without a background of who Doctor Strange was, other than I know obviously he's the quote unquote Sorcerer Supreme, and it's going to take the new MCU into a more mystical kind of direction. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. Just his voice is amazing, but I really enjoy his movies. I think he's a great actor. His presence is really good. I like the casting choice. So I went in kind of, hoping it would be an interesting new character that would hold my interest. And I have to say that I really, really enjoyed the movie. I compared it to like the first time I saw Iron Man in this respect. So when Iron Man came out, I was kind of like hesitant. I was like, Iron Man, I don't know. Am I really going to be excited about seeing Iron Man? And of course, that's one of my favorite MCU movies, was the initial or origin story of Iron Man. And to some extent, I'm not really going to get spoilery here, but the Doctor Strange origin story is kind of similar in some fashions to Tony Stark's, even in their demeanor. You'll see that Doctor Strange's character at the opening is kind of this cocky SOB neurosurgeon that is treating people like shit and only cares about himself. And of course, you've seen in the trailers he goes through some trauma, major accident, which kind of brings his world crashing down. And lo and behold, he goes in search of kind of a higher power. Although it starts as kind of like just fix me. He ends up going down another road where he starts training under the Ancient One, which is played by Tilda Swinton, who does a really good job. And then he goes down a road to start training, and of course he ultimately has to defend from the big doom, or the thing that's going to destroy Earth, and defend against a guy named Caecilius, who's played by Mads Mikkelsen, who is one of my favorite Bond villains from the Casino Royale remake, and I know he's going to be in the Rogue One movie. I thought he was great, although I didn't think. His portrayal of the bad guy was fine. He's a good actor. The main weakness I would say about the movie is the enemies, or the quote unquote bad guys, were just kind of uninspiring. Like I said, the Mads Mikkelsen and who he's representing, I'm not going to get into that type of spoilers, but there's a bigger bad guy in play here. I just, I wasn't blown away by the bad guy, so to speak. So Mads Mikkelsen was fine, but I would say the enemy and who they were fighting was kind of the weak point of the movie. That being said, I really did enjoy the movie. The special effects are unfreaking real. This is like Inception did like 10 shots of LSD. So if you couldn't handle the special effects in Inception, you are going to pass out in a movie theater when you see some of the crazy special effects that go on in some of the fight scenes in this movie. They are trippy, for lack of a better word. They're absolutely trippy. How they did it is unbelievable. But they're very cool. The action sequences and the fights are cool. They do a good job. I thought, in origin stories, they kind of, you got a 2-hour window to rush them from normal guy into superhero. I thought the pacing in that was decent. Again, they got to set up future stories down the road, so they got to get into the overall, setting him up, and they have to do it quickly without it seeming rushed. I thought that was pretty well done. I thought they also, at the end of the day, did a decent job of tying Doctor Strange's movie and the plot line in that movie to what is ultimately going to go on in the third stage, I guess it is, of the MCU when they kind of go into a more mystical and magical realm. And certainly I'm not going to spoil anything in that direction. But I thought it was a fantastic movie. It's not mind-boggling, but I would say it's better than some of the recent Marvel movies. I'd put it up there. Somewhere behind my first tier would be like, Guardians of the Galaxy, the original Iron Man. I really enjoyed Winter Soldier. Those would be my kind of top three. And this is, in that next tier. I think you'll really enjoy it. The special effects, again, are amazing. I thought the acting was good. Benedict Cumberbatch, I thought he is believable as Doctor Strange, although I say that without having a great depth of knowledge of who that character is in terms of the comics. But I thought he did a great job. Rachel McAdams did a good job. The other thing that the Marvel movies always do that the DC movies have struggled with is injecting humor into it. And I have to say that the audience laughed out loud a number of times. They were legitimately funny moments. And, I think that's kind of what makes the Marvel movies a little different than DC. And when you see this movie, I think you'll legitimately laugh out loud. The jokes aren't campy; they're well timed, and it's really funny in parts. So at the end of the game, although the enemy didn't blow me away, I thought the movie was great. I highly recommend you see it if you're into the MCU. I think you'll really enjoy it. Feel free to post comments down below. Let me know what you thought of Doctor Strange and how they did with the character, particularly those of you who know the character better than I do. Look forward to reading your comments. If you've liked this review and some of the other stuff on the page, which I'm going to be growing tremendously in the next weeks and months, feel free to subscribe. And again, thanks for watching the video.